After the death of Cyrus's son, Cambyses, the mighty Persian Empire, once united under a single vision, fell into chaos. Rebellions erupted across its vast lands. In the east, pretenders declared themselves kings. In the west, governors turned against the throne. The empire Cyrus had built with patience and wisdom now trembled on the brink of collapse. In this storm of uncertainty, one man stepped forward: Darius, a distant relative of the royal family, a soldier, and an administrator. He saw opportunity where others saw ruin. But his path to power would not come through inheritance. It would come through courage, cunning, and careful alliances. With a handful of loyal nobles and generals, Darius began weaving a web of strategy, restoring order through intelligence and boldness. While others fought for crowns, he fought for stability. The fate of Persia hung in the balance, and its survival depended on one man's ability to rise above the chaos. This was the beginning of a new chapter when the architect of an empire took his first steps into history. The empire was fractured, but Darius was relentless. In the shadows of Persepolis, whispers of betrayal filled the halls. Pretenders plotted, generals hesitated, and assassins lurked in the dark. Yet Darius listened, learned, and struck first. One by one, conspiracies fell apart beneath his gaze. Rebels who sought to claim the throne found themselves surrounded by his swift and loyal forces. Darius's brilliance wasn't just in battle, it was in foresight. Every move was a calculation, every alliance, a chess piece perfectly placed. When the capital finally bowed to his command, Darius stood before his people and declared himself King of Kings, a title not seized by chance, but earned through strategy and strength. But even in victory, he knew one truth. To rule an empire built on rebellion, he would need more than power. He would need vision, order, and a system that could outlast any man, even a king. Darius did not rule from a throne of gold, he ruled from the road. Across burning deserts, icy mountains, and endless plains, the King of Kings rode beside his guards, dust rising behind him like a royal banner. He wasn't content with reports from advisors, he wanted to see his empire with his own eyes. From the fertile lands of Egypt to the marketplaces of Babylon, from the Indus Valley to the mountains of Media, Darius appeared where no ruler had ventured before. He walked among farmers, questioned soldiers, and met the elders of distant tribes. Each stop revealed a truth about his realm, its wealth, its weaknesses, and its spirit. He inspected governors known as satraps, testing their loyalty and wisdom. Some he rewarded with gold and honor, others he removed in disgrace. Corruption found no refuge in his shadow. But these journeys were not only about control, they were about understanding. Darius studied the languages, the customs, the beliefs that bound his people together. In doing so, he transformed Persia from a patchwork of nations into a living system united by justice, trade, and the will of one man. To his people, he was no distant ruler seated on marble. He was the traveler king, the watchful guardian who rode through their cities like a storm of order. And with every mile, the empire grew, not through conquest, but through connection. An empire as vast as Persia could not survive on the will of one man alone. Darius understood that power must be divided, but never lost. To govern millions, he created something the world had never seen before: the satrap system. The empire was split into provinces, each ruled by a satrap, a governor chosen for loyalty, not birth. These men commanded soldiers, collected taxes, and upheld the king's law. Yet Darius was no fool. Every satrap was watched by royal inspectors, the eyes and ears of the king, who reported directly to him. No betrayal went unseen. He standardized taxation, ensuring that gold, silver, and grain flowed evenly from every corner of the empire. Monthly reports, sealed with royal stamps, traveled along the roads to Persepolis. Through this network, Darius achieved the impossible, a balance between control and freedom. Local traditions remained, but all bowed to a single crown. The system was so effective that later empires from Alexander to Rome would imitate it for centuries to come. Darius didn't just rule his empire. He engineered it piece by piece, law by law, into a machine that could outlast kings themselves. Across blazing deserts and snowy mountain passes, Darius built more than a road. He built the backbone of an empire. The royal road stretched over 2,700 kilometers, from the golden city of Sardis in the west to the royal capital of Susa in the east. A ribbon of stone and dust, guarded and maintained, where hoofbeats carried messages faster than ever before in human history. At every day's ride stood relay stations, small fortresses where fresh horses, food, and shelter awaited the king's couriers. These riders, known for their speed and loyalty, became the lifeblood of the empire. Ancient historians would write, "Neither snow, nor rain, nor darkness of night can stop them from completing their appointed rounds." It was, in essence, the world's first organized postal system, centuries before Rome, millennia before modern nations. Along this great artery came caravans of silk from the east, spices from India, silver from Anatolia, and gold from Egypt. Markets buzzed, languages blended, and cultures met under the watchful order of Persian rule. But for Darius, the royal road was not only about trade or communication, it was a symbol, a message carved into the landscape itself. That from the Indus to the Aegean, from mountain tribes to city kings, all roads led to Persia and to him. Every echo of hooves across that road reminded his subjects of a truth he had forged from chaos. The empire was no longer a collection of lands. It was a single, living world, connected by stone, law, and vision. Darius knew that an empire's strength was not only in armies or roads, it was in gold, silver, and the trust of its people. Across Persia, from the bustling markets of Susa to the harbors of the Aegean, he introduced standardized coins, weights, and measures. No longer would traders haggle endlessly or merchants fear cheating. Commerce flowed smoothly, taxes were predictable, and cities prospered. A silver daric or gold sigloi carried the same value, whether in Babylon, Lydia, or Media. This standardization did more than simplify trade, it united a diverse empire. Farmers, merchants, and governors all understood the rules of the game, reducing disputes and ensuring fairness across hundreds of provinces. By creating this system, Darius laid the foundation not only for Persian prosperity, but also for future empires, centuries later, to adopt bureaucracies that could manage the world's wealth. The empire, once fragile and chaotic after Cambyses, now pulsed with life and order. Coins changed hands, markets thrived, and Darius's vision of a connected, prosperous Persia was no longer a dream, it was reality. Darius did not conquer blindly. He expanded with strategy, foresight, and patience. From the deserts of Egypt to the rugged lands of Thrace, and as far east as the Indus Valley, his armies moved with purpose, but so did his diplomacy. He formed alliances with local kings, established vassal states, and often preferred negotiation over battle. By respecting customs and rewarding loyalty, he reduced the risk of rebellion, ensuring that new provinces were integrated into the empire rather than crushed under it. Where force was necessary, it was precise and swift. Where persuasion worked, it built lasting bonds. Governors, military commanders, and tribal leaders alike learned that Darius ruled with a combination of strength, fairness, and vision. Through this balance of sword and counsel, the empire stretched further than any had imagined, held together not just by fear, but by systems of order and mutual obligation. Darius had transformed Persia from a collection of conquered lands into a true civilization, vast, diverse, and remarkably resilient. By the end of his reign, Darius had transformed Persia from a fractured kingdom into a model of organization, communication, and governance. The empire that once teetered on the edge of chaos now thrived under his vision. The royal road carried messages and goods across continents. The satrap system kept governors accountable while respecting local traditions, and a standardized economy ensured that trade and taxes flowed smoothly from one end of the empire to the other. Every innovation strengthened the empire and bound its diverse peoples together. Generations of rulers would look to Darius as a blueprint, from Alexander the Great to the architects of Rome, proof that a clever mind could turn rebellion into stability and ambition into enduring legacy. Darius proved that a man, once a distant relative of the throne, could rise through cunning, courage, and foresight, leaving an empire so well structured that it would outlast kings, armies, and even time itself. His legacy was not built in marble or gold alone. It was built in systems, order, and vision that would echo through the ages.